Okay, we're live. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. I will just stop with the presentation and start with our presentation. Hello, welcome. Hello from Aberystwyth. My name is Maritza, and my colleague here, I've got my colleague Lucia on the line, but let me introduce myself and tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Maritza, and I am the Regional Officer for Europe here at Aberystwyth University. And essentially, my job is to help students with any inquiries that they might have in regards to studying at Aberystwyth and just guide them through the application process and kind of be their support throughout the journey. On the call, we've got our Student Global Ambassador, Lucia Martinez. Lucia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, my name is Lucia Martinez Garrido, and I am an international student here in Aberystwyth. I am originally from Spain, from Madrid, and I'm on my second year of genetics. Now I will do it in Spanish. So, hola, soy Lucia. Soy una estudiante de España, de Madrid, y estoy estudiando genética. Este es mi segundo año y pues nada, espero que os guste la presentación.
Great, thank you, Lucia. Oh, gracias. For those of you who are joining us tonight, just some housekeeping rules. I'm going to go through the presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat function, and my colleague Lucia will aim to answer some of the questions that you have throughout the presentation. So please don't be shy. Feel free to ask those questions. And if you do feel like you have questions at the end of the session, we will have a Q&A where you can actually ask questions and I will be able to respond. But throughout the presentation, we will be able to answer some questions. So just use the chat function. And if you do want to get in contact with me at a later time from the session, my email address is right there. And Lucia will also drop it in the chat box so you can just reach out to me and contact me aside from this. And I'll be happy to assist you with any questions that you might have. Right, so let's get started. So Aberystwyth, it's a full name. So how you say it is Aberystwyth. We are based in the west coast of Wales. We are a campus university by the coast, which is a beautiful thing. You get beautiful views. We're right by the beach. We're 1 hour away. We're 1 hour change away from one of the largest cities in the UK. So you can just jump on the train between here and Birmingham International. And, you know, we're very well linked transport-wise. We have great commuting links between Cardiff and Aberystwyth as well, Cardiff being the capital of Wales. So, yeah, a lot of our students really do enjoy coming here, partly because of the commuting links that we have, but also because we are such a tight-knit community and heavily focused on our students and our student experience. So a little bit about us, why students come to Aberystwyth. One of the reasons is that we're one of the best universities for student satisfaction, as I mentioned earlier. So students definitely love coming here, not only because we listen to our students and we aim to help them in all of their studies and throughout their studies, but we have just great facilities overall. We're TEF Gold for teaching quality. We have been nominated University of the Year for Teaching Quality in 2018 and 2019, and we hope to continue with that record this year as well. A lot of our degrees are employment-focused degrees, which means that a lot of the work that our students do, it's preparing them for employment after their degree. So 97% of our graduates are in employment or pursuing further studies 6 months after graduating. Or they're back at the university, they're back at Aberystwyth pursuing a postgraduate degree. I can attest to the statistic. I was one of those students who studied here, went out to work, came back, and then, did a master's program, and then came back to work again. So yeah, it's a beautiful place, really. And then one of the most amazing things that we have available for our international students is our International Accommodation Award, with nearly £4,000 each year off of your studies, which is a great scholarship. I don't think any other university is doing this. So yeah, I will talk about the International Accommodation Award at a later time in the presentation. So what campus life is like. This is the campus. This is campus life from a sky viewpoint. And as you can see, we've got the library on campus, we've got the sports centre, we have the National Library of Wales, which is home to one of the largest archives in the UK. So if you ever need to do research on a particular subject or area, this is the place to go. You can get some real quality books there, but also some interesting cracks in there. There's a museum in there as well. Old College, which is right by the seafront, as you can see, that's where the university was founded. And fun fact, this is where The Crown was filmed. If any of you guys have ever watched the Netflix series The Crown, it was filmed right there at our own Old College. Okay, like I said, we're a campus-based university. This means that everything is on campus, whether it's accommodation or your lectures, everything is within 5 minutes walking distance. A lot of our students in their first to second year tend to stay on campus, but there are some students that live in town. And as you can see, town is only a walking distance. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get down into town. Yeah. So what does campus look like? This is what campus looks like. And right now, it really does look like this. I haven't actually been on campus for a year, so this is really nice to see. This is what campus looks like. Everything is within walking distance, as I mentioned. There's a lot of greenery and a lot of space for you to just enjoy the day. If you're going in between lectures and you just need that fresh air, you can. All of our buildings are modern, and we have some hidden away spaces where you can study as well. Most departments have study rooms or study areas that you can use, so you don't always have to go to the library. This is the part that all the students come for. And so this is Aberystwyth at its finest. A lot of the students come, we say they come here for the degree, but they stay for the sunsets. And really, truly is a lot of the students tend to go to the beach and enjoy the sunsets as part of their student experience. Aber is such a beautiful place to study, not because of the sunset, but also because of the support that you get from your academic department, but also the community that you will find among students. You always have students from different demographics and backgrounds walking around, so you never really feel alone. You always feel a part of something. So, as I mentioned earlier, on accommodation, we have accommodation mainly on campus. So we've got PJM, which is Pedro Jane Morgan, Fern Penglais, Rossa, Cotmawr, and Trefloen. And then we've got a little bit of seafront accommodation available as well. If you can have a look at the chat as well, Lucia is dropping some facts about Aberystwyth. So yeah, those are things to keep in mind about us. So yes, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of our accommodation is on campus, which means you're never late for your lectures. If you're late, then you really overslept. And if you live on campus managed accommodation, you have access to 24-hour services of security and support. You also have free access to all gym membership services. So you can use the gym for free if you live on campus and if you live in university managed accommodation. And more importantly, you have access to the 24-hour gym service. There's free laundry available for you as well. But which is, here I am. I said I'll get to that shortly. So the average cost of accommodation here on campus is 85 to 160 pounds per week, which is relatively cheap because this includes all of your bills. It means that you don't have to pay extra for electricity or anything like that. All of our accommodation is single occupancy rooms only, which means you don't share a room with anybody. You have your own room and your own space, and each room does come with a sink basin, and it does come with a study area as well. So there's a lot of space for you, and each room has a good amount of storage as well. I don't know if you remember a lot of storage. Did you have a lot of storage in your room, Lucia?
Yeah, I definitely did. I was in Rosser,
You're in
and
Russia?
yeah, it was in
Yeah.
Sweden as well, so it was very nice.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity as well for you to just, have your own private space where you can, really get into work and chill, but also you have a communal area. So all of the university accommodation have communal areas where you can commune with your flatmates, and you can hang out in the kitchen or in the dining room area, and everybody gets their own space in the fridge, so you don't have to fight for a fridge room. We also offer ensuite and studio flats, which means that for those students who don't want to live in shared accommodation with other students, they can get their own studio flats. But you have to apply for those as soon as possible because they just fly off the wall. And en suites, which means if you are someone who wants to have their own bathroom, you can also request for that. Or if you also want to live in a girls only dorm or a male only dorm, you can request for that when applying for accommodation. As I mentioned earlier, all the bills are included. You get free sports membership included, and there's an option to also have meal plans included. So on the days where you are in lectures until really late and you really don't want to cook, you can just top up your ABBA card, which is your student ID card, and you'll be able to use that in our restaurant facilities as part of a meal plan that you've added. And it's really helpful. I think this helps a lot of students manage their workload, and also, not everybody knows how to cook or enjoys cooking, especially in the first few months. On-site residential assistance. So on-site residential assistance is where you have students that are a little bit more mature and have been in Aberystwyth for a long time that can help you and kind of be someone you can speak to in private in regards to any issues that you might have on campus or in your accommodation. So they're there to be a support. Other than the 24-hour security service, on-site residential assistants are just there to help students as well, just navigate student life. Okay, so the International Accommodation Award, which is what we spoke about earlier. I'm so sorry that I think my slides aren't formatted a little bit, but I hope you can see them correctly. So the International Accommodation Award, as I mentioned earlier, is just an amazing award for our students that are coming to stay with us in our halls. And it means that you get access to live on campus, and your fees are included in your accommodation, if I'm explaining that correct. It means that you live on campus, and you get to choose between two price plans where, like I said, your fees are included, and you get this for the duration of your time as a student here at Aberystwyth. So it means that this accommodation award is applicable for you from the beginning of your degree till the end of your degree, unless you choose to not take it up the second year. That means the cost will either be reduced to wherever you want to move, as long as it's within university halls, or it can be redistributed somewhere else. Apologies. But again, we'll have some information in the chat box there for you about the scholarship. I hope I've explained that right. So subject areas, we're home to a lot of amazing subjects, but I don't know if you're aware, but Aberystwyth is home to the first international politics department in the world. So we're world renowned for our international politics. But other than that, we're also known for our research, which I mentioned earlier. So our vet and biosciences and econ sciences subjects are very popular amongst our students, with IBIS, which is the environmental sciences department, being one of the largest. Aside from that, we also have great subjects across the board in areas such as business, economics, law and criminology, marine and fresh biology. It would be a crime not to have marine and fresh biology when we live right by the sea, right? We've got psychology as well. Our psychology courses are accredited. This means that by the time you finish your degree, you'll be able to practice and go further on into your career as a psychologist. So they're automatically accredited. Fun fact as well, one of our colleagues who used to work in the economics department was an economics advisor for the government. So yeah, and he was advising on the Brexit deal. So that's a fun fact to want to know. So like I said, we are home to a whole lot of modules and subjects, but if you need more information and details, please feel free to reach out to me and I can go through that or put you in contact with an academic in the department to kind of help break down the courses and what they're like. So the entry requirements that we have for our Spanish students are as follows. So we expect a grade between 28 and 36 in the IB, which is the International Baccalaureate. The standard, depending on the course, is A-level, BBC to BB, depending on the course again. And we also have the nationally recognized Spanish standard entry, overall grade 7 or above. I would love to say it, but I'm not sure I'd be able to say it correctly. Lucia, you're welcome to help me.
Well, I think it's pronounced título de bachiller.
See? Thank you. Okay, so I think the thing that's really important and why we are so heavy on promoting the International Accommodation Award is that obviously since Brexit, the fees have gone up for our students coming to study with us, and we want to make this a lucrative yet an important decision. When you're coming, you need to know the information in regards to fees. So the fees are as follows. If you are full-time art student / social sciences, is £14,000. If you're full-time sciences, is £16,000. And again, just a side note, just remember that the International Accommodation Award will also kind of help with this, because it means that you will only pay for your fees and not really pay for your accommodation. Your accommodation will be completely free if you come and stay with us. Forward. So one of the reasons as to why we're also top in the country for student satisfaction, as I mentioned throughout the presentation, is the support that we offer our students. So here are some of the services that we provide. We have peer-to-peer schemes. A peer-to-peer scheme essentially just means that students get support from other students. So you will get, at the beginning of your year, you can indicate that you would like some peer support, and you'll get allocated someone in your department, sometimes if you're lucky, or just someone who is a little bit mature doing their master's, to help you navigate university. So they'll be the person that you contact if you're having issues with the department, or you can't get a hold of things, or maybe you don't understand things and you need things explained to you. In second place, we also have the International English Centre. Now, a lot of people might be scared about the language barrier when they come to university, and the International English Centre is there to help you with things such as essay writing, grammar, and someone to read through your essay to help you, just in case. The first few months of you settling into university can be quite daunting. And when you're first writing your piece of real material or real report or essay, it can be really strange. So it helps to have someone read over that for you. And as I mentioned, we also have English language support, and they're based in the International English Centre. So you can go in there and just ask for a tutor to assist you with the language support until you're comfortable. We also have the International Student Advisor, Rosa. And Rosa basically will help you with any visa information that you need. She's here to guide you through the visa applications process prior to you joining us. And whilst you're at university, she's here to advise you on how best to protect your visa status as an international student or as someone who's joining us from Spain. Other services that we offer now, as I mentioned earlier, we are, a lot of our degrees are employment focused. So that means that we encourage degrees that allow students to take a year out and go and work, either as part of the degree, or they can just stop the degree, do a year in employment, and then come back and continue with their degree as if nothing ever happened. We also have a lot of internship schemes that we promote throughout the year, and that's with external bodies and companies. And I'll show you shortly what kind of companies we have been known to work with and continue to have great relationships with. So you can have, you can join internships, you can apply for internships throughout the years that you're here at university. And if anything, I would encourage any student who's coming to university to take advantage of these opportunities, because they really do help you at the end of your degree. And it's great because you're working on your CV at the same time, and you're working on your personal development at the same time as well. The Students' Union, the place where all students go to have fun. We are home to over 100 plus societies. And these are societies that are comprised of academic societies as well as hobbies or entertainment societies. So these are where you can, this is where you can join the sports, you can join the dancing society if you're into dancing, singing, and we are very much about our students enjoying their time at university. It's not just about studying, it's having a work-life balance. On Wednesdays, a lot of the departments don't tend to have any lectures on, which means on that day, you can participate in any activity that's not university related, but that kind of fulfills your inner hobbies or inner person and builds you up as an individual aside from your university work. I see Lucia kind of nodding there, going, yes, I did that. Okay, so I mentioned about the internships and the many companies that we work with. So here is a list of some of the companies that we work with throughout the year, and we've had students that have studied with us that have gone to work with some of these businesses. So we've got the Hilton Group, we've got Barclays, PwC, John Lewis, the Welsh Government. And, you know, like I said, the support that we offer through our career services is it helps you prepare for interview stages, preparing a CV. They help you look for jobs if you need one. And yeah, I just think that university, well, here at Aber anyway, we are just about making sure that you get the most of your time at university. And when you leave as a whole person with a lot of things to offer the world. Thank you so much for listening. That is it from me in regards to the presentation. Before I go into the Q&A section, I would just love to play a video that better explains the accommodation award. So I will play that, and then if you have any questions, we can go over some questions you might have. that is it. So that is it from us in regards to presentation. Does anybody have any questions for us at this time that we can answer for you? Please don't be shy. Feel free to ask any questions. Okay. So whilst we don't have any questions, maybe I'll I'll answer some questions that a lot of students kind of tend to ask in regards to joining us here at Aberystwyth. One of the things to remind you is at the beginning of the year, we have what we call the airport pickup service. This means that students from joining us from either Spain or joining us from anywhere else in the world will have access to the airport pickup service where we pick them up from Birmingham International and we drop you outside of your accommodation and you just move in. It's really that simple. We also offer support throughout that week where students can kind of pop into their department before they register for their modules and kind of talk about their modules if they're not sure, and they get information emailed to them by the academic team welcoming them to ABBA. The first week of university can be both exciting and both nerve-wracking. I think exciting because it's like this whole new world and you're meeting new people, and so it can be really interesting. Lucia, do you want to share a little bit of your first time as a student when you first came?
Yeah, of course. I think we also had a question on the chat from Wilderns. Sorry, that's not how you say it.
Hi. This university is really good. Thank you very much. My question is this. Okay, the question is this university really good? Oh, I thought you were saying, is this university really good? Yeah, it is. It depends on what you're saying. Is it really good? So one of the things that I have to remind you is, and I'll go back on my slides just so you can have a look. If we go this way, actually, I think that's the best way. So some of the things that we're recognized for here at the university is our student satisfaction. We're top in the country for student satisfaction. So that means that a lot of our students are satisfied with the service that we're providing them. And to be top in the country means that, you know, we're doing a great job. More importantly, TEF Gold, that means that we are accredited for our teaching standards. We're award-winning for teaching and research. We've been nominated University of the Year for teaching quality. So if you are looking for those things as a student, you know, you want somewhere where teachers are experts in their field, we've got that. As you can see, we are awarded for teaching quality. If you want somewhere that listens to their students, again, we've got that, as you can see by our credits. So it's not just what we say, it's not what I say as someone who works at the university, it's also what our students say about us. Again, 97% of our students are in employment after they graduate. I think that speaks volumes of the standard of university that we are. Does that answer your question in some ways?
I think they said thank you. So
yes, they did. I hope that answers their question anyway. But yes, I think these things really highlight what type of university we are. I don't want to say yes, we are, but I think the facts and the statistics speak for themselves. Yes, yeah. Lucia, you were telling us about your time as a student.
Yeah, well,
how did you find it coming from Spain?
Well, first, can I say that I think this university is really good as a student? I can definitely say I think that, because I don't know, like you said, I have loads of support with anything I need, which is a great plus that I think not a lot of universities offer. But when it comes to how I first settled in when I came to university, it is hard, of course, because it's a language barrier a bit, but like I would just say, don't be afraid of it. Because once you get used to it, it's really easy, and everyone makes an effort to understand you. And everyone just, I don't know, if they don't know what you're saying, which they will just ask you. And like if you ask them to like repeat something, they will. And then your lectures will be recorded. So like, I don't know, you can just go back and watch them, or you can just email your lecturer and he will be more than happy, or she will be more than happy to just answer you. I hope that helps.
You were talking about the language barrier earlier. As someone who is from Spain and obviously you speak Spanish, did you find that difficult adjusting to a system where we teach primarily in English?
I wouldn't say so. No, there was only one lecturer because I believe they were from Northern Ireland. They had a very strong accent.
yeah.
Yeah, but everyone else, no, it was. I wouldn't say it was super easy, but it was easier than I thought it was gonna be. To be fair.
Yeah. One question that I think is quite important is I think someone who also think because we're a bilingual university, we're based in Wales, a lot of people speak Welsh. Was that an issue for you or?
No, not at all. Not at all. Everyone speaks English anyways, like everyone knows how to speak English. And it's always really nice to hear someone saying like one word or two in Welsh, like, oh, I won't try.
You get used
just in
to it.
case.
I think you get used to it and then you start to pick it up as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's very nice.
So tips on, I know we had a conversation about this before, but when you came to university, what was the thing that you wish, especially when you came to ABBA, what was the thing that you were like, oh, thank goodness I brought this to ABBA?
I would definitely say there's like a service called Uni Kid Out, and that was really useful because I didn't have to bring like all my duvets from Spain and like all my pillows. I just had them delivered before I even arrived into uni accommodation to my room, and then I could just, I don't know, set it all up and sleep there for the night, which was really nice.
And settle in. Did you have to, when you came to university, did you have to bring any books or anything like that, or was that already?
Oh no, not at all. The library has literally all the books you can ever imagine, and you can like borrow them. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Borrow books from our library. You can borrow them at any time. They're also available online. There's also the National Library of Wales, like right by the campus. So if by any chance there's not the book you want in the Library of University, it will be in the National Library of Wales.
Yeah. I mean, as a student, I didn't have to buy a lot of books.
No.
And also, one of the things that I did was, like I said earlier in the presentation, there's peer-to-peer mentoring. So you can always ask someone older than you if they have a book that they can. And a lot of the departments also have like a board where people kind of, or an area where they leave the books that they don't want anymore, especially those that are graduating and stuff like that. So you can always kind of just tap into that. COVID-19, how has that impacted your study situation? I think maybe before you answer that question, I just want to make a point and say, we were one of the only universities in Wales to have in-person teaching as well as online teaching. Last year, we did a lot of blended teaching. And we've gone back to that system as well this year. And so I think that should let you know how well we've managed the COVID-19 pandemic. And a lot of the accommodation available on campus for students, we've also had allocated areas where students can self-isolate. And we have testing facilities on campus available. So it's a very safe place to be right now. So yeah, but if you can give your opinion on how you found it as a student, that would be great as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I spent the first quarantine in Spain because, well, everything closed down everywhere. No one knew what was happening. And then I came back in August. I quarantined, and then I started lectures as normal. Yeah, not as normal, obviously, because the lectures were recorded, but we still got to go to like a lecture hall and have like a seminar. So we would be less people in quite a big room. So we were all socially distanced, and we would all be wearing masks, obviously, unless you couldn't, then you'd be wearing your lanyard. And yeah, I feel like that helped me get to know my lecturers better because it would be more like a one-on-one thing, kind of thing, even though there were more people. Yeah. And this semester, because I didn't have any labs last semester because I didn't have any modules with labs. But now we're finally allowed to go back into the lab, which is great. And I'm really excited about that. I've already had my first lab practical, so I'm very happy.
Yeah. So some people might be doing a degree similar to Lucia, who does a science-based degree, which means that she has to learn how to be in a lab and see how that works. Other people might do law like I did, and you have to learn how to argue in a court of law. So you have lab formats as well, where you learn how to argue and present a case as if you were a barrister or a legal team. So we don't, I mean, and also if you do something like international politics, you learn how to put forth a bill. So there are different formats. We do definitely have, we don't just teach our students just, you know, the standard way of teaching, which is read a book or whatever. We also have practical sessions available across a lot of discipline. So yeah, that's something to be mindful of. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions while we are kind of doing a little Q&A? It'll be great if we can get some questions of some things that you would like answered.
About the labs, I also wanted to say that they are really impressive labs. And you know, if you're doing a science degree, you definitely want to go to a university with ongoing research. And Aberystwyth University, all of my lecturers are doing like research at the same time, and you have the opportunity to work with them during the summer. Like for example, this summer I'll be working with some of my lecturers in their lab, helping them out, just learning, you know, how to do things properly, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's good. Have you had a lot of, I mean, I think it would be really good to explain how your lecture formats are. When I was a student, our lectures were, we'd have about 15 hours of lectures and then 15 hours down. What about you? How has that, or does that vary for you because you've got lab as well?
Yeah, it varies for us, sorry. We have 9 to 1. It's usually lecture time. Not all the time, obviously. But like you'd have like a 1 hour lecture in there. And then usually from 2 till 6, we would have a lab practical, which it doesn't last that long, of course, but that's usually booked off for practicals. So if it happens that you don't have a practical that day, you would basically have the afternoon off, which is really nice.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. And have you been able to find a part-time job while you are at university?
I didn't, because I didn't feel like I wanted a part-time job, but I don't know, I have friends who have, and friends who even had enough time to volunteer in a charity shop in town just because they had time to spare. To be fair.
So I worked as a student myself. So I think this is a question that comes up a lot of time from people wanting to be students is, can I take up a part-time job? So in regards to you joining Aberystwyth, you'll be able to work. Students are encouraged to work a minimum of 20 hours a week. And this is just so that, you know, well, not a minimum, sorry, a maximum of 20 hours a week. This is to ensure that you have enough time to work and rest, but have enough time to also study and get the most out of your degree. So a maximum of 20 hours a week is what's encouraged. Yeah, well, you can find work, whether that's working on campus or working in town. Again, you can go through our career services where they would offer you assistance on how to get a job locally or get a job on campus. We have a campus, we have a system online where you can actually apply for jobs and maybe get some work experience working in some of the offices. So whether that's marketing, finance, or a department, and it's a great opportunity for you. That's, you know, that's how some of us started. I mean, myself, when I say some of us. Yes. Any comments, Lucia, that you might have? About your experience?
About my general experience, yeah. I don't know, I'd say even though Aberystwyth might seem like not the biggest place, I would definitely say there are lots of things to do around here. Like it's very hard to be bored when you're here.
Yeah, and you know, it is really, really difficult to be bored now because there's always something happening. There's always something to get involved in, whether that's through the students' union, or volunteering locally, or there's one too many barbecues on the beach. And it doesn't matter what time of the year, there's always a barbecue on the beach. There's always something to get involved in. A lot of our societies, we have like the expedition society that goes out for walks. We've got the beekeeping society that teaches you how to keep bees. Wildlife and conservation, so that teaches you, and it could just be something you're interested in. We also have a community garden on campus, where you can get involved and plant some of the foods that you want to eat. And it's available to all the students, and it's available to some of the locals as well. One of the things that I forgot to mention in the presentation is that not only do we have a 24-hour services in regards to security or the gym, but we also have 24-hour laundry services. I forgot to mention that. And you just need your student library card, and you can access the laundry facilities and do away your washing, and it's all on campus. I think that's important, so you don't have to send your washing to Spain. We also have an on-campus cinema, and hopefully when things kind of get back to normal, students will be able to access that. We've got an on-campus cinema, cafe, and a theatre hall where we have things like the National Theatre that come, or dancing competitions and stuff like that, which is amazing. Right now, what's really popular is open air cinemas. Last year, at the beginning of term, we had an open air cinema, which means we had social distance area where people could go and then just watch a movie, a big movie on the screen on campus. And it was great. People were able to socialize social distancely in their bubbles. And so, yeah, I think Aber in that sense has, it's still helping people with their mental health and supporting them, but also providing entertainment in some form of way. Yes, so our presentation has come to an end, and our session is just winding down. So it'd be great if anybody has any questions, maybe something we haven't covered that we can cover.
I also wanted to say, oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
A few things about the societies. There is also a Spanish society, which is a lot of fun. When COVID regulations allow it, they do like get together with like traditional Spanish music, like reggaeton, for example, and like more of a Spanish-like party, because of course the UK is also a lot of fun when you're with your friends outside and stuff, but also you get to miss a bit of Spain, so yeah. they take charge of that.
Yes, and a few years ago, we used to have what we call One World Week. And the Spanish Society, we'd have a stand where everybody would cook Spanish food, and people would come and try food from each country that is represented here at Aberystwyth University. So, yeah, hopefully that will happen again and we get to have that. That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give someone who is looking at university opportunities right now? How did you decide this was the place for you?
Well, first I just searched what I wanted to do, like the degree I wanted to do, and there weren't really that many options for genetics. But when I was looking through universities, I saw that in Aberystwyth, the lecturers that are teaching genetics have actually graduated with a degree in genetics. Meanwhile, in some other universities in Spain, for example, it didn't seem as no, they hadn't graduated in genetics because that hadn't been a degree for long enough for them to, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So people who are teaching me now are basically professionals in the field, people who have been doing this since they were my age. So that was a very big motivator. Also, I think it's one of the oldest universities in Wales, isn't it? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of history. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would give that as advice as well to anybody who's looking to come to university is be sure to research the course that you want to study, research the department that you want to join, and get in contact with people to talk to. At Aberystwyth, get in contact with me to help you. Like I said, maybe if we could repost, there we are. I'll repost my email address just here. just email me if you have any questions or you want to know something. I'll be happy to help you through and guide you through anything that you might need advice on. That is my role here. So I think those are very important things to keep in mind when applying for university. Research, research, research. I think, yeah, that's it for us. It's the end of our session. Thank you so much for joining. Again, feel free, just a reminder that from next week on, we will be having some appointment schedules. So you can book an appointment to meet with myself or to meet with me or to meet with Lucia. And you can get some more answers on questions that you might have. So please do not hesitate to contact us via the appointment schedule session. We've got some appointments available starting off next week. And we will be online for quite a few hours. So drop in and yeah, we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Again, thank you so much for joining us and thank you for taking the time to be with us this evening. We wish you all the best in your pursuit for a degree. It's an exciting time. Yeah, Lucia, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for listening. And yeah, if you have any questions about student experience or anything like that that I could help answer, come to the, are they called meetings or?
Yeah, I think they're called appointments.
Oh, to the appointments.
Yeah, meeting appointment is all the same thing. I'm just wondering if I can share my link to their, it's on our profile. So the meetings are available on our profile. Book an appointment to meet with us. We'll be happy to redo our presentation, answer more in-depth conversations, and just guide you a little bit more. Yeah, so come to Aberystwyth. It's a really good university. Don't take my word for it. Take our students' word for it. Thank you very much. And that will be all for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, there's a question here.
Oh, yeah. I'll think.
What do we do?
Oh, sorry, I published. Oh my God.
So yes.